Well, hey, how's it going, Forum? Great to have your company once again. You know what's interesting? That so many people work for companies and they have no idea what those companies represent, or indeed what they support, or what they donate to. Well, here is a nice little call that I made just recently to a Canadian company. That's right, the Canada branch of Starbucks Coffee. I gave them a call in response to Howard Schultz allowing a lot of PR representatives from Israel doing a lot of speeches in the Canadian universities right there in Canada. Not to be dismayed, I made a few calls about this particular question right here. So now, listen in as right now as I call Starbucks in Canada and ask them a couple of questions about their support for Israel and whether or not their employees have any understanding of exactly what they're supporting. Have a listen now as I talk to an employee from Starbucks, and my goodness, does she have a clue who she's supporting? You judge for yourself. Here we go with the call to Starbucks in Canada.
Hi, you've reached the office of Starbucks Coffee Canada, Vancouver Regional Office. To leave a message, press star. To reach an operator, press 0. One moment, please. Good morning, Starbucks Coffee Canada.
Yes, and a very good morning, ma'am. How are we today?
I'm well. Is there something I can help you with?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just hoping for a bit of information.
Okay.
Can you tell me, who does Starbucks actually help? Does Starbucks actually help any governments at all?
Pardon me for one moment. I just need to let someone in the door.
Okay.
So where are you calling from?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling from independent news outlet.
Okay.
And just asking for a bit of information about Starbucks. Can you tell me, do they actually support any particular government or nation?
For any of those questions, I have a different number for you to call.
I've already tried that number, ma'am, but there's nobody answering. It goes straight to a voice message system. That's why I decided to give this number a call. Can you answer that question, ma'am?
Unfortunately, not at this time, no.
You can't answer questions? Is Starbucks, they don't have anybody that can answer any questions? Is that correct?
You have to call a different number.
I don't have to.
Just verify that you have the same number. It's 1-888.
Well, are you a representative of Starbucks?
I work for Starbucks, yes I do.
Are you aware that they're funding Israel?
Pardon me, but all media questions?
No. Are you aware that the company you're working for is funding Israel?
That is your opinion.
No. That's fact, ma'am.
I'll ask you to call the other number.
The CEO, called Howard Schultz, is in fact a very good friend of Israel. In 1998, he got the star for the 50th anniversary. He got a lot of praise from Israel for doing a lot of PR work for them. In fact, every year, Starbucks sends money to Israel in the form of cash. Cash donations that go towards funding the genocide of the Palestinian people. Are you aware of that, ma'am? Yes or no?
You can call the media line.
So you yourself personally, you're not aware of that. Is that correct?
It's 1-888.
You work for a company and you don't know who they serve?
I'm not about to get in a discussion about this with you, sir.
So you have no clue who you're working for?
I have no comment.
Wow. So you work for anyone who pays your wage, doesn't matter who they support and who they kill? How do you feel, ma'am?
I have no comment.
How do you sleep at night? Do you sleep very well?
I do.
What with your 30 pieces of silver, knowing that there's got blood all over them?
Did you have a question that you wanted to call the media line?
My question was, are you aware you're working for a company that genocides Arabic people in the Holy Land of Palestine? Are you aware of that?
And I've given you a number to call.
And Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, is a very good friend of the PR machine of Israel. In fact, he works as a propagandist for Israel.
You're entitled to your opinion.
That's according to the Jerusalem Report, ma'am, not my opinion. The key to Israel's long-term PR success, according to the propagandists from Israel, is because of Howard Schultz. He has actually allowed a lot of Israeli propagandists to go into the Canadian, that's right, Canadian universities to spread the propaganda about Israel. And that is the CEO of Starbucks. Now, you think that is my opinion. I suggest you do a little bit of a search. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. maybe on stopfundingisrael.com. You might check out the names and companies that do support Israel. Your company is one of them. So when you say to me, it's my opinion, you really are showing that you're ignorant about the company you work for. You're accepting cash from a genocidal nation. Norman Finkelstein has it described as a lunatic nation. And you feel good about that? Hello? Are you there? Gideon Meir, the official in charge of the Israeli Foreign Ministry PR effort, has described Howard Schultz as being a very good friend of the Foreign Ministry of Israel in spreading such propaganda.
Well, there we have it. We didn't really get through to the CEO. In fact, we didn't really even get through to a PR representative. However, we did at least make one message clear, and that is, saying that you're just following orders is no longer enough. Saying that you're just accepting your wage and going home at night is no longer enough. You have to be aware of the companies that you support when you accept a wage at the end of the week. You have to be aware of where the profits are going when you work for a company. In this day and age, the 21st century, there is no excuse for not knowing. And simply saying, well, that's your opinion, that doesn't work anymore. Sorry, there is the internet, and you can search on a 2-second Google search from here on in. So these people right here have the choice. They've made their choice, and they choose to bury their heads in the sand for a handful of coins. Have you made that choice yourself? Are you making that choice today? Are you doing the same thing that this woman is doing? Then one thing I have to say to you. Think again. Because the world depends on it. You're either human or you're anti-human by your actions. Well, that's about all for me for now. Take care, God bless as always, and of course have a fantastic day. I'm going to be back very, very soon talking more about the companies that support Israel and making phone calls exposing the bullshit and the hypocrisy that is in the people that decide to accept cash. Accept a Babylon cash, indeed. Wiliyahud Yatla Abarra. That is for sure. Take care, God bless, and as always, ciao for now.